What is up, everybody? And you are very welcome along to tonight's Anfield Agenda 10-minute transfer roundup. As always, I am Craig, and I will be taking you through the latest transfer stories surrounding Liverpool Football Club. I would, of course, like to know your thoughts on anything I speak about. Lash it into the comment section below. Drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button, all the usual stuff that you expect. And also, as you can see on the screen right there now, we have this snazzy new QR code that you can scan that will bring you over to the Anfield Agenda Twitch channel, which is where you will find all of our live content ahead of the upcoming season. No more from me. Let's get straight into it. 10 minutes. Here we go. Start the clock. Right, so today Liverpool officially announced that we have reached an agreement with Bayern Munich for the signing of Sadio Mane. I know I did say Dortmund in a video the other day by accident. You guys pulled me up on it and you're absolutely spot on. I did, of course, mean to say Bayern Munich. As I told you all along, the numbers involved in this deal, Liverpool will get the 35-40 million quid that we asked for. I told you it was going to happen. So all in, it will be about 35 million quid that Bayern Munich will pay up. There is, of course, some add-ons there. Some of them, I think around 5 million of them, will be based on appearances, and then the other 2.5 million will be based on things that Sadio Mane does or does not win with Bayern Munich. But all in, the deal will come to around 40 million euro. And look, as I've always said, I've got nothing but the height of respect for Sadio Mane. I wish him continued success in his career, unless of course we play Bayern Munich, but I think he'll understand that. Not that he'd care about little old me, but you get where I'm coming from, and I think it's a good piece of business all around. If he had had an extra year on his deal, you know, we probably would have got more money. I think Sadio Mane, with a few years on his contract, is still a 70-80 million pound footballer. He has been in the final five of the Ballon d'Or on at least 3 occasions I can think of in recent years, and he's still at the very peak of his game. So again, good piece of business. The club will be sad to lose Sadio. We are, as fans, of course, sad to lose him, but ultimately, you know, we had to do it. We had to take the money, and it will help us to, you know, build our squad. And we did, of course, use some of that money, although we hadn't got it yet, to bring in Darwin Núñez from Benfica. And I've seen some crazy stuff around Darwin Núñez, some crazy figures being thrown around on social media by opposition fans who are feeling a little bit salty about our business, trying to say that we're paying up to 150 million for Núñez. No, it's 64 million up front. It could eventually get to 85 million. But we're not here to talk about Darwin Núñez today. We are indeed here to talk about Jude Bellingham. Sick of me talking about Bellingham? You better strap yourselves in, because I'm going to be talking about him a lot more over the coming months, because I'm going to say it once and I'm going to say it again and then I'm going to say it again. In my mind, Liverpool Football Club will sign Jude Bellingham. There was some questions about whether it would be this summer. You know, I've said to you guys many times that I've never believed it to be this summer unless Real Madrid pulled the trigger at their end and they went to chase him, and then we were in a war, which would mean we'd have to go after him. But I don't do the ITK thing. I don't like to do it, because a lot of the time, some of the stuff you hear is wrong, some of it's right. Sometimes things change. That's the nature of a football transfer. But I'm going to reiterate it again. When he leaves Dortmund, Jude Bellingham will end up at Liverpool Football Club. I don't know how many times I have to repeat this before maybe people start to take me seriously. I was told something quite a few months ago that left me in no doubt that Liverpool wanted Jude Bellingham. And then, you know, you hear that a lot, to be fair, from, you know, you probably heard that from your friends, or if you've got journalists you're friendly with, whoever like that. But then I heard more stuff, and the stuff that I heard was from his side, and it's going to happen. It is going to happen. So immediately, I always said that we would go after Bellingham, but I didn't know how we'd afford the deal. But this summer, seeing Liverpool break the club record fee to bring in Darwin Núñez, and look, all told, that deal will come up to £85 million if he's a success. Well, that makes me think FSG will back the manager. And look, you can go on about how we fund the deal, you know, selling players, all that kind of stuff, fair enough. But again, FSG have shown that if Jurgen Klopp wants a particular person, that they will spend. They spent for Virgil van Dijk. They spent for Alisson. They've spent for Darwin Núñez. And yes, again, I'm aware of the Coutinho money and I'm aware of all the other money. But I get a feeling that this money has been put aside quite a while ago for Jude Bellingham. Now, the big question is, will it just be one Bellingham? Or will Liverpool perhaps look to bring in his younger brother, Job? I don't know the answer to that. I've got nothing on Jobe Bellingham concrete from my side that I've ever heard. So I don't want to speak about it other than in in a fantasy world where maybe we have two Bellingham brothers at the football club, and picture that midfield for the next 5 or 10 years. Now, what I really struggled with earlier on in the window, and I couldn't deny it because it was true, we did make a big play for Tchouaméni. We did want to bring him in from Monaco, and we lost out to Real Madrid, who was his preference. That happens sometimes, it's fine. But the reason I question that is, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this, so stick with me with the Bellingham stuff. Take me for granted for 1 second, or take it for granted that we're going to sign Bellingham. My question is, are we to expect two top-notch midfielders next window? Because we went to sign Tchouaméni, and at the time I was told nothing had changed around the Bellingham pursuit. So are we going to expect somebody else? Because that gets really exciting if you think about it. So, we do need a refresh in midfield. Can we blag one more year with the midfield we have? It looks like we're going to try anyway. And I'm all right with it. If injuries don't go our way, we could come a little bit stuck. But ultimately, if it means that we don't have to settle, and we get the midfield that Klopp wants next summer in Jude Bellingham, happy days. But imagine if we were to try and bring in two. So look at the business that Real Madrid have done. They brought in Camavinga previously, and now they're after bringing in Tchouaméni, and we know that they're interested in Bellingham. They will lose that transfer battle, but we know they're interested in him. So Real Madrid are obviously looking to refresh their midfield trio of Casemiro, of Luka Modric, and of Toni Kroos, who served them so well for so many years. And I'm wondering, if we do switch to a 4-2-3-1 system this season, and we have Fabinho and somebody beside him, and then Bellingham comes in, we're going to bring in another one. That's where it gets really, really exciting for me, because we could do a bit of business next summer to bring in two midfielders, and I still think we may have missed a trick not going after Yves Bissouma, who signed for Spurs today, a deal £35 million. And look, people will say maybe that's a bit steep with 1 year left on his deal, but ultimately Spurs are getting a very good midfielder for 35 million quid. And I think Bissouma will be a hit at Spurs. And I would have happily had him at Liverpool. I know people are worried that he may have some legal matters withstanding, but I don't think Spurs would have signed him if they thought that was a concern, a serious concern moving on. So I think we may have missed out there, personally. And I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on the midfield situation. So I know it's a big leap of faith I'm asking you to take with me here on Jude Bellingham, but I don't really put my nuts on the line very often on things. I did it with Van Dijk, I did it with Canade, and I've been doing it for Jude Bellingham for quite a while. So I'd love to know your thoughts on a fee maybe for Bellingham next window, because some people think, well, he's going to be here, he's going to be further along in his development, therefore his price will naturally go up. He will have played in a World Cup with England, he would have another season with Dortmund. But on the flip side of that, his contractual situation would have gone from having 3 years to run to 2 years to run. And 2 years to run, as we know only too well around the Salah stuff, is kind of where it gets interesting. Because then clubs have to make a decision. Will the player renew? And if the player doesn't want to renew, that's your time to sell. Because every month that goes along from that, the player's hand strengthens and the club's hand weakens. So I think we will sign him. And I think the fee will be around 80 million quid, 80 million pound when we sign him. But I want to know your thoughts on what else we might need in midfield. Do we need to bring through somebody for this season? Or can we make do with the options we have, which is James Milner, which is Jordan Henderson. And by the way, happy birthday, Jordan Henderson, turned 32 years of age today. What I'd give to be 32 again. So we have him, we've got Thiago, we've got obviously Harvey Elliott, we've got Curtis Jones. We've got Naby Keita, whom his future hasn't been committed to the club yet, but I expect that to happen. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the midfield situation moving forward. I know people are going to be telling me I'm deluded, but I'll have my moment when it happens. And then the final piece of transfer news today is something that finally did happen, which is Liverpool and Aberdeen agreed a fee for Calvin Ramsey. That fee, £4 million, rising up to a potential £6.5 million. And like I said to you, I never had any issues with Aberdeen trying to get every penny they could out of Liverpool, because it's their biggest ever transfer fee. It's a big deal. And by all intents, it seems that the club have been very impressed with how Aberdeen handled the negotiations right the way through. So Calvin Ramsey will become a Liverpool player. Medical is due to take place at the weekend, I believe. I think he still has some stuff to take care of in Scotland. Then we should have the tied up, signed and sealed announcement either the weekend or early next week. And I think we will look back at Calvin Ramsey being another incredible piece of business from the football club, as will Harvey Elliott, as will Carvalho. And I'm pretty content. If we signed Mo up to a new deal, if Carvalho's in, if Elliott's in, and we have some young players to blood as well, I'm kind of okay with this window as it is. So that's pretty much where we are as of now. Again, I did say there was going to be no video yesterday because we were out for a bit of a team bonding celebration. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on everything I spoke about tonight. Drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.